Welcome back, Metal Den. It's Hop. We're diving into Judas Priest collection. We're on the 80s years, which is, I think, the best years, but I think people might disagree with that, but I'm an 80s child, so we're probably going to be partial to the 80s. But this is part 2 of this section, and we're going to go on over all these albums in the 80s. So, the first one, of course, is British Steel. And British Steel was the first album produced by Tom Allman, which you'll hear a lot about Tom Allman and the whole Judas Priest career, but this is the first album he's in. In case you're wondering, which surprised me, I was on Spotify where I listened to the whole collection, and Breaking the Law is the most streamed on Spotify, which I would never guess that. I would thought it would be another thing coming, but it's Breaking the Law, which maybe Beavis and Butthead is the reason that's as famous as it is. Who knows? But this album, I guess some of the stick out tracks off this album are Metal Gods, Living After Midnight, and Breaking the Law. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorites. This is probably number 2 out of this collection of the whole Judas Priest stuff. But yeah, it's a good album. So if you haven't heard Breaking the Law, you need to go check it out, because definitely a great Judas Priest album. And that was released in exactly 1980. So, and they released albums pretty quick in, earlier in their career. So 1981, we have Point of Entry, which is the next album, and it's produced by Tom Allman, which I guess I'm pronouncing that right. But this is another one. Opening track, Heading Out on the Highway. It's a great way to start out the album. I mean, what I've got out of the Priest thing is they're great for opening tracks off the albums. And another thing is, I've been watching this music video channel, and Don't Go has become, one of my favorite songs off this album. Go check out the video if you haven't seen it. It's a pretty cool video. It's really vintage Priest. So, but it is good. It's a good song. It's it's hard to follow British Steel, because British Steel was such a good album. But You Say Yes is another good track off there. So go check out Point of Entry. I talked to, I think it was Jamie earlier this evening, matter of fact, and he was telling me this is one of his favorite albums, come out in the 80s from Priest. So, go check this album out, and, let me know in the comments section what you think of this album, or you think of the 80s era Priest, and tell me which is your favorite. All right, so we're move on to 1982, which is my favorite Priest album. And I even got it as a Desert Island album, which means it's a perfect album. For Priest, I think Screaming for Vengeance is the greatest album they've done in their collection. I mean, it's ranked number 1 for me. But Electric Eye, another killer song to open the album with. And it's got Take These Chains, Another Thing Coming. I mean, this song's just full of hits. I mean, the album's just full of hits, so check it out. Like I said, if you haven't heard Screaming of Vengeance, which I doubt there's anybody out there that hasn't heard it, but you need to go check this album out, because it is a great album. Probably, like I said, it's my favorite of the whole Priest collection. So in 1984, produced by Tom Allman again, is Defenders of the Faith. And opening track, Free Will Burning, which great opener again. I would have to say, here they're keeping up with, opening songs as being great, and here's another one. And this has got Love Bites on it, and also Heads Are Gonna Roll, which is another great song by them. But in 1984, they're releasing Defenders of the Faith. Great album. Go check it out. All right, so then the album released in 1986 by producer Tom Allman again is Turbo. And Turbo is one of them albums that I think either you love it or you don't. I mean, I'm a big fan of Turbo. Probably right up there. It might be my second favorite album. Second or third favorite album by Priest. And, but Turbo Lover, another great opener, of course. Probably one of my favorite songs. Parental Guidance, another catchy song off this album. But I guess not a fan of the song Out in the Cold. I must have not been much on that song. But Wild Nights and Hot Crazy Days, very catchy song. I'm surprised it wasn't bigger than Turbo Lover, but Turbo Lover is a good opening track, so I guess we shouldn't get too much on that. So, here we go. 1988, they released Ram It Down. Last album produced by Tom Allman. And it's got Ram It Down, typical great opener Priest song. Crazy Come and Get It. Like this, the riff and the solo of the song. And Johnny Be Good, which I really like the soloing. But this album, Ram It Down, Following Turbo, wasn't a huge fan of. And actually, this is the album that made me go back and dig into their archives, because I was listening to some other podcasts and some other, shows, and some of the people didn't rate this album very high. So I got in touch with some friends of mine. They thought it was a decent album. So I was like, I'm going to listen to it. And then after I listened to it, like I said, I went back and decided I was going to dig into the archives of Priest. So that's how this all got started. But I guess leave in the comments section what your opinion is on Ram It Down and how you feel about Ram It Down. And do you think it stands strong in their collection of the 80s stuff? I mean, after going through the 80s stuff, I would say Ram It Down is probably my least favorite album to come out in the 80s, but it's not a horrible album. I've listened to some of the stuff in their collection that Ram It Down's probably better than that, but I don't know if it, I don't even think it would, well, I don't even know if it would make my top 10. If it did, it'd be right in there. But at the end of this, I'll go ahead and give my top 10. But as far as Priest, for me, the 80s have the three best albums. Probably my top three, which is British Steel, and I'm Screaming for Vengeance, and Turbo. But they're my three favorite Priest albums, probably. But y'all check out the 80s stuff and leave in comments below what y'all think of the 80s Priest. And, what if y'all dig the 80s Priest, and what made the 80s so great if you thought that was the best era of the Priest. Just leave it in the comment section. I guess we're going to roll out of here. I'll be back with part 3, and we'll continue on with our Judas Priest collection. And everybody comment and let me know if there's any other band you'd like to see me dig deep in their collection. Just let me know. Leave in the comment section below. Till next time, see ya. Peace.